when you go into a situation, and this is just Danny's life philosophy, it could be as simple as you show up and then you show up to what shows up. We could even add a component where you rain. I don't mean like you rain down on the situation like little raindrops from the sky. This is your domain, right? Things are happening out there that you cannot control. But I got this thing in here. I got me. I got the ability to see truth when I slow down to hear it. Somebody said to me the other day, they're like, Danny, you don't get to control those things. I'm like, yeah, you're right. I don't get to control when I hear wisdom. I don't get to control when I hear insight. I don't even get to control when I hear truth. All I can do is be in a low mood, be in a high mood, be in a mood, be a human, and know that things are going to shift. My levels of consciousness, if you will, are going to shift. And as my levels of consciousness shift, my ability to see a situation will shift, and I'll know whether I should be walking to try to find the light switch in the dark or if I should just turn on the light. And I won't know that until I am in the place in that exact time when I need that information most. Welcome back into Climbing the Summit podcast, where the ultimate summit is self-discovery, self-realization. I am your host, Danny Cobbin, and I was walking outside to my garage. There is that old school light where you have to actually pull the light switch in order for the light to actually come on. And that's in the back of the garage. So what was happening was we both went outside. My programming, my conditioning is like, I've been out here enough times. Let's have fun trying to see if I can find this little string in the dark. Whereas to where Courtney, as soon as she got out there, she turned on her phone light and she went straight to the light. And I think everything that we need for a plan in our life can be found in that story. All right, let's break it down just a little bit. And the clarification of my life philosophy, if you will, came from Michael Neal. I spent quite a bit of time with him in Super Coach Academy. He's doing a solopreneur to soulpreneur course right now. He's got a lot of courses out right now. If you're interested in personal development, check those things out. So he would say something to the effect of, you show up and then you show up to what shows up. And I realize sometimes some people need a little clarification on what that means. And to me, what that means is when I, you, we as human beings go to any situation, we're going to have thinking that occurs to us. And I can't control what thinking occurs to me in the moment. But that's why in my conditioning, it said, okay, let's just go out here and let's see if we can find the light switch. But as to where Courtney, it said, turn on the light. So it's two different thought process, two different like upbringings. All the different things in the world are different. So we go and we approach that situation differently. But what's interesting is unless you get some new and fresh thinking in the moment, you're going to always do what you've always done. So how do you get new and fresh thinking? In my mind, when Courtney went out there, I'm sure she could have walked in the dark as well. But something occurred to her in real time. Well, what is that? Wisdom, truth, insight. These are things that happen to us that we feel that bubble up inside of us that we can't predict that are going to happen before they happen. Right? So if I need a life plan, because what I want to ultimately be is grounded in who I am as an individual, same true for you, a simple, simplistic view that you could take is I am going to show up to whatever the situation is. Something is going to happen. It's going to be dark. It's going to be light. Somebody's going to say something. They're not going to say something. And you in this situation, are going to do whatever occurs to me to do. Turn on a light. Walk in the dark. Do my best. And it's going to either go the way I want it to, or it's not. It's going to go well, or it's not. And then I'm going to learn from the situation that just happened. And now, I cannot change the situation that happened because the past is something that we're carrying with us through time and space. It's not real. Well, what I mean by it's not real is no amount of thinking that you do right now can change anything that happened to you in the past. Super simple stuff here. I'm not getting into rocket science or nothing. But if I could change what happened to me in the past based on my thinking about what happened to me in the past, I'd be rich. I'd be famous. Everybody in the world would be listening to this podcast right now. Because I'd be like, oh, I did this. Change it. Mental stuff. But no amount of thought, no amount of using your best gift. I promise you, this is such a beautiful gift to be able to think, to be able to process, to be able to recall information. This is the best gift we got. One of the most beautiful gifts we got. But it is not designed to help you in situations where what you need is something new and fresh. Like, let's take a computer, for instance, right? So if I have a computer and it has nothing on it, right? Just the internet. And I give it to you. Here you go. Here's a notebook with just the internet. And then I got this other one. And I'm like, it's got 32 gigs of RAM. It's got a terabyte of storage, but it cannot get on the internet. Which one you gonna take? You gonna take the one that is the conditioning, whatever I can put on this thing, it'll remember? Or do we take the one that's got the internet, the Wi-Fi, the downloads, able to hear truth, able to hear wisdom, able to hear when we slow down enough who we truly are? Which one are you going to take? I know for me, I'm taking the Wi-Fi. Why? Because if I can look it up and it's going to come to me, that's better than being able to store information and not be able to use it. Now, we get the opportunity to use our computer in both ways. How magical and beautiful is that? So when you go into a situation, and this is just Danny's life philosophy, it could be as simple as you show up, and then you show up to what shows up. We could even add a component where you rain, right? Like, I don't mean like you rain down on the situation like little raindrops from the sky. I mean like, as you rain, like this is your domain, right? Things are happening out there that you cannot control. But I got this thing in here. I got me. I got the ability to see truth when I slow down to hear it. Somebody said to me the other day, they're like, Danny, you don't get to control those things. I'm like, yeah, you're right. I don't get to control when I hear wisdom. I don't get to control when I hear insight. I don't even get to control when I hear truth. All I can do is be in a low mood, be in a high mood, be in a mood, be a human, and know that things are going to shift. My levels of consciousness, if you will, are going to shift. And as my levels of consciousness shift, my ability to see a situation will shift, and I'll know whether I should be walking to try to find the light switch in the dark or if I should just turn on the light. And I won't know that until I am in the place in that exact time when I need that information most. Unfortunately, I don't get it before then. I wish I did, but I don't. Maybe you do. But if you don't, if you're like me, you're superhuman. That's super cool. If you like me, superhuman. Like, and what I mean by superhuman is normal. Just a normal human being. All I know for a fact is I can show up to a situation. Doesn't matter what the situation is. Something's gonna happen in that situation because that's just literally what happens. And then I'm gonna do something about it. I know I'm repeating the same information over and over, but I want you to truly get it. So I'll tell the story one more time and then we'll get out of here, right? I went to the garage with Courtney. There's a light in the back of the garage. Can't see in the garage because it's dark. My conditioning says, let's have a good time. Her conditioning says, let's have a good time. She turns on a light. I don't. And guess what? We both get there in our own time, in our own way. Now, just a little tip for relationships out there. When this happens in any relationship, if you ever want to be in a relationship, this happens. Ask the person, like, what led you to that? Why'd you do it that way? Curiosity is a beautiful thing. And if you really care about a person and you want to know more about them, get curious as to why they do certain things. You're not going to do it the way they do it. But if you understand why they do it the way they do it, you can love them through it anyway. Have a good day. Thanks for climbing the summit with me. I hope you enjoy your holiday, and we'll talk to you next time.